I'm Jeffrey Sable, and welcome to my stockpile of marketing formulas and strategies. What I've learned is the only information of value is the information you actually use. That's my only goal with this podcast, to equip you with information that you can immediately use to improve your business's next marketing piece. Now let's get down to business. Most business owners can't define the word marketing. Can you? Ask 100 business owners and they'll each give you a different answer. Billboard, social media post, wrapping their car, a sign on a college football field, a hat, or even a postcard. Merriam-Webster Dictionary says it's the act or process of selling or purchasing. So does that mean I was marketing when I bought the watch I'm wearing? Most business owners would say no, and I agree. Their second definition is the process or technique of promoting, selling, and distributing a product or service. I'm glad they got more specific. What does that even mean? That's like 100 things in one. Most business owners will never give you such an abstract answer. I guarantee it. They'll say it's a logo, colors, or fonts, branding. They obsess over these things because it's marketing. All of this is window dressing. Have you ever sold someone something because they said these things convinced them? Probably not. I believe marketing is the creation and transference of trust. The dictionary defines trust as assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. It also says one in which confidence is placed. Your marketing must articulate that to your client or patient. It works in any medium or format. It's substance versus aesthetics. Now, don't get me wrong, both are important, but most have their priorities completely backwards. It's a highly polished video that says nothing versus a pretty bare-bones selfie video with powerful info. The polished video that says nothing may look good, but it's never going to resonate with people. Whereas the raw video that you just pulled out and started to film that has worthwhile information that can help someone is going to get way better results. Have you ever taken money from someone and they said, "I knew you were the right person because you were so untrustworthy"? It's never happened. Taking money without trust is extortion, and that's illegal. The higher the consequences and costs in what you're trying to sell, the more trust you must create and transfer to your clients. Every exchange of money is built on a relationship, and every relationship is built on trust. To make that money, you have to create that trust. The number one goal of all your marketing is to position yourself as someone that can be trusted. You do this multiple ways, and it all starts with a two-part formula. This two-part formula, once used, will immediately help you master your marketing. You deliver a specific message to a specific audience. You are talking directly to one person hurting that you know you can help. All marketing must be this, a one-on-one conversation. Now, the beauty of this is it's a filtering mechanism. It attracts the right people and repels the wrong people. It only gets the right people to pay attention because you are telling them, "I see you, I understand you, I can help you. I have something of interest that you need to pay attention to." It's the difference between being specific and vague. See, the mistake most businesses make is they want to make it as wide as possible. They want to cast the largest net possible and talk to as many people as possible. And I get it. When you think about it on the surface, it makes sense. They think the more people you appeal to, the more potential business you'll get. But the reality is the more vague you are, the more you try to cater to everyone, the more you'll be ignored, punished, and seen as untrustworthy. To get someone's attention, you need to mirror them. You can only do this through specificity. This is how you build trust, by having a one-on-one conversation with someone in a specific position. People only care about themselves and will only give attention to things that align with what they care about. Which of the following options is more likely to grab attention and be trusted because of its perceived value and expertise? An ad for a plastic surgeon versus an ad about a plastic surgeon showcasing her expertise in severe hand burns. An ad for a car repair shop versus an ad for a Porsche specialty shop that helps prep Porsches for track days. A guy that does marketing versus a guy that helps doctors document their expertise on film by creating videos and then running those videos as ads on Facebook. The first column is forgettable to everyone because it's generic. The second is interesting to a specific audience because it caters to their interests and goals. Here's the cruel reality. The clients or patients you're marketing to, not existing ones, new ones, don't trust you and probably don't even like you. When your sales message grabs their attention, they look at it with contempt. The dictionary defines contempt as the act of despising, the state of mind of one who despises, and lack of respect or reverence for something. They define despises as to regard as negligible, and they define negligible as so small or unimportant or of so little consequence as to warrant little or no attention. And that's it right there. They don't feel it's worthy of their attention. Words matter. I told this to someone recently and it looked like I pulled their heart out. They were shell-shocked. So I'll say it again to twist the knife. The clients or patients you're marketing to, not your existing ones, new ones, don't trust you and probably don't even like you. When your sales message grabs their attention and distracts them from whatever they were doing, they look at you with utter contempt. But don't take it personal. It's normal human nature. People have been so disappointed by everyone, including themselves, especially themselves, that they react to anything new with contempt. I'm just looking. Leave me alone. Go away. I can't stomach another disappointment. Then combine that with every once respectable institution like churches, government, healthcare, education, and the media being rotted from the inside out like a diseased animal. All combined, it's creating the moral decay of our culture, and the fallout is record high levels of distrust. Ironically enough, the one thing all of us as Americans can agree on is we should be more skeptical. We're in a world where everything is polarizing, and because of that, everyone is tired and confused. I was recently shopping for some deodorant, and sitting right next to each other on the aisle were two different types of deodorant. One said that it had zero plastic and it was in a cardboard box, and the other said it was 100% recycled plastic. No plastic is better for the environment, but we take care of the environment by recycling and reusing. What is right and what is wrong? Who knows? We're living in a mass state of confusion, and a confused mind doesn't buy. Because of all this, you are already seen as untrustworthy the moment your marketing grabs their attention. The other important thing to acknowledge is there is no objective reality. Everyone sees the world differently, and it's framed by their past experiences. They are projecting their past experiences, which are usually fake because most people's memories suck, so they are living in an imagined reality, onto you. They've been screwed in the past, so when you show up, they assume you're there to screw them again. It's not fair, but that's life. Life isn't fair. You can sit around and cry about it, or you can equip yourself to get ahead of it. Here's 11 tips on how you can equip yourself. Number 1, acknowledge where they are right now. I see you, and I empathize with you. Meet them where they are. Elevate to their current state. They're tired, overwhelmed, and in a mood. Meet them there. Think how your friends and family are. When they're annoyed and frustrated and overwhelmed, you don't come in and say, "Oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" You jump to the level they're at, and then you slowly bring them down. Wherever your prospects are at, your clients, your customers, your patients, you need to meet them exactly there. If they're at a level 9, meet them at a level 9 and then slowly bring them down. If they're pissed off, get pissed off too. Now there's that quote, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I think people won't care about what you know until you show you care about what they have gone through. Get as fired up as them. Number 2, every single piece of marketing is a one-on-one conversation. You're not talking to everyone, you're talking to one specific person. In all of your marketing, you need to be thinking like your prospect is sitting directly in front of you and you're going to have a one-on-one conversation with them. I'm doing this medium right now, this format, this podcast, and I'm imagining someone sitting with me right now and I'm having a conversation with them and I'm sharing what I know. Everything needs to be a one-on-one conversation. Now, you can look at it as a one-way one-on-one conversation, but just imagine you're talking to one person directly. The easiest way you can do this is don't talk about yourself, talk about them. Here's what you get. Here are the benefits to you. I want to share something with you. Excessively use the word you, or if you have their name, use their name because you're having a conversation. Number 3, you need to explain everything in detail. Why, how, and because are 3 words you need to use as frequently as possible. Tell them why it's important, why they should care, why it's different, why they should give you 1 second of their time. Next, how. How does it work? How will it benefit them? Get into detail. And lastly, because. This is a variation of the other 2, but you need to be using these words as frequently as possible. Here's why I think you should care about this. Here's how it works, and this is going to give you a benefit because. Explain everything in detail. You cannot explain things enough. The more information you give people on why they should care about it, how it works, and how it will benefit them, because the more they'll trust you. Number 4, show, don't tell. This is a type of explanation. When you're explaining something, don't just tell them about it, show it to them. If you're a doctor and you're talking about your safety procedures, don't just tell them, oh, safety is our number one priority. Everybody says that. Show them, what are your safety procedures? This is the room where we clean things off. This is where we keep our equipment. This is the protocols we have in the operating room. This is how we get scrubbed up to go into surgery. Don't just tell them what you do, show them. When you show someone something, it creates clarity in their mind. And just like detailed explanations, clarity creates more trust. Number 5, I want you to remember these 3 words every time you create a piece of marketing: damaging, admission, copy. See, most business owners never want to reveal their flaws. They're never going to say that they're not a good fit for someone. You need to. You need to reveal your flaws. You need to say, we're not for everyone. This wouldn't be a good fit for you if you're such and such. Here's who it's for, and here's who it's not for. Reveal the flaws. See, the reality of it is nothing's perfect. Nothing in life is 100%. But most business owners only talk about the positives. This is great. It's a wonderful time to buy, blah, 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 blah. You sound like a salesperson. When you start revealing flaws through damaging admission copy, people will trust you more because they immediately stop thinking, this guy just sounds like a salesperson who's trying to pitch me something, versus here's someone who's giving me information. It works in real life too. The person that is always talking about how great they are and they're bragging, think of that type of person. We all know that type of person. They're fake. Whereas the person who says, I'm really struggling with this, or this is kind of what I'm going through, or I've been working on this and I'm getting better at it, that is a real person. Like I mentioned earlier, every sales exchange, every exchange of money is a relationship. A relationship is built on trust. The easiest way you can build trust is by saying, we're not for everyone. One thing I want to talk about on this real quick was going through a lot of reviews for doctors. There was a large amount of reviews that talked about how the doctor told them they should not be getting a procedure and recommended something else. See, whether it's true or not, and again, this is the cruel truth of marketing, most people think that business owners just want to take as much money from them as possible, want to sell them as many things as possible. So when you say, actually, I don't think that's a good fit for you, what about one of these options? It breaks the pattern in their brain. When you start revealing flaws and you say this isn't a good fit, and you start talking about the positives and the negatives, that pulls someone's mind out of suspicion and more into, this person seems more trustworthy. Number 6, customer testimonials directly from them. These are how stories. You can talk all you want about all the clients you've helped and your successes, but it's a totally different vibe when it's coming directly from them. Now, we all know the importance of reviews and writing reviews, but you need to get these on film. I would recommend this type of format. Have a podcast. Talk with one of your customers. Say, listen, I wanted to do a video with you. I am just so proud of you. Would you be willing to sit down for a couple minutes and just, answer some questions? I'm going to give you the questions ahead of time. It's just going to be what we went through, where you were, where you're at now, and how that process went, and, be a leader to people that are in your position or in the position that you were in before. Of course they're going to say yes. It's a form of flattery. They're going to love that. Turn it into a story. Now, there's one important word in there that I want to mention is how. Like why, like how, like because earlier. This how, which is an alternate version of it, but you can really push a sales message very far if you use that word how. Instead of saying, I did this, I did that, if you simply say, how I did this, how I did that, people are going to be more interested in what you have to say, because instead of sounding like bragging, it's sounding like what I mentioned earlier, information. People love information. People don't like a sales pitch. So you can push a sales pitch very hard when you're talking about a how story through a customer testimonial. Number 7 is examples. Use plenty of examples. This goes back to the couple of the previous ones, customer testimonials, show, don't tell. Just use examples of your product or service. If you have a gadget, instead of just saying, yeah, here's our gadget, use examples of how it would work. This is a real life type of story. Now you have your customers talking about it, but the power of the example is you're showing it in real life. You're showing it being used. Number 8, strong guarantees. Now most people hear guarantee, they think it has to do with money, but it's usually not about money. It's a certain expectation of service. Now I'm not going to get into specific guarantees, but I would recommend that you really sit on your business and you think, what are all of the guarantees that I can give one of my clients or I can give one of my patients. For example, the first guarantee could be, here's our one-on-one consultation guarantee. Let's say you're a doctor and you say, I have a one-on-one consultation here. It's an hour long. We're going to cover these things. I guarantee you that you'll leave this meeting that we have fully confident in your decision, whether it may be doing it or not doing it. Back to damaging mission copy. Stack all the things that you do and create that as a strong guarantee. Guarantee, it's not about money. People think it's about money. It's about, really at the root of it all, when you look at strong guarantees, is people knowing that it's going to be a worthwhile investment of their time. If you have a strong guarantee and say, this is the first consultation that we have, these are all the pieces of information I'm going to give you, this is what we're going to go through, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you stack these things 20, 30, 40 things deep, and you say, this is our guarantee to you, people are going to love it. You need to be taking everything that you do right now and documenting it. Don't take it for granted. That's a strong guarantee. A strong guarantee is a record of everything you do, and I'm willing to put it on a piece of paper. I'm willing to put it into a video and give it to you, and I promise you this is what you'll get. Just by simply, again, back to number 4, showing, don't telling them. Outline what your guarantee is, all these things. I heard an interesting interview with a home builder where the home builder said that their sales immediately there was a difference once they rolled out a guarantee. And their guarantee was a bunch of stuff like, we guarantee you we have a full kitchen full of appliances. We guarantee you the house is done by this date. We guarantee this. See, the thing about it is, they say, well, yeah, there's a 99.9% chance that it's going to happen. It's a guarantee already, but people have all these concerns and fears in their mind and these what-if scenarios. When you explicitly say it like that, it pulls the majority of their concerns, objections off the table. Number 9 is long return policies. Now, this goes completely against what most people would think. Most people think the longer the return policy, the more likely you are to get a return. But I want you to consider this. Let's say there's 2 different business owners. One business owner is selling a product and says, I got a 7-day money-back guarantee. The other business owner says, I'm selling the same product. I have a 6-month money-back guarantee. I stand by this. I feel so strongly about this and how it can benefit you and the quality of it and the training and everything I'm going to give you that I know you're going to have just phenomenal results with it. That's why I give a 6-month money-back guarantee. Who are you going to trust more? It's the same product. See, this is the thing when we look at people who stand by their word, stand by their quality, stand by what they do, they have no problem doing things like this. If the client's not trusting you, call their bluff. Who would you trust more in that scenario? The person that says 7 days or 6 months? So the longer the return policy, the better. Some of these businesses don't even have a return policy. It's completely open-ended. Nordstrom's has a completely open-ended return policy. Now, how many people do you think a year from now are returning something? I don't think it happens. It's been proven. There's a guy named Jay Abraham. Check him out. One of the guys I learned from is a guy named John Carlton, just world-class copywriter. Worked with him, I think either in the 80s or the 90s. I'm not very good on dates, but somewhere around that time, they were one of the original ones that really got hardcore into guarantees and longer return policies. And they tested all of it, and it was proven. The stronger the guarantee and the longer the return policy, the lower their refund rate. Because people were looking at it from a basic human psychology standpoint and saying, listen, if they have a really strong guarantee where it eliminates my fear of something going wrong and me not getting anything and basically eliminates risk aversion, and they have a really long return policy, it's got to be pretty good because someone who has that is only going to be doing that if it's really good. So strong guarantee, long return policy work together. Number 10, relentless follow-up. This is where I get really annoyed with sales scripts and things. They think like you have to have the closing rate. The reality of it is most people will not act the first time, period. I look at all the big things I've bought. I've always thought about it, slept on it, waited around a couple days to do it. So you have to look at every single person you meet, these new prospects, as a long-term relationship. I'm a very direct person. I don't beat around the bush. I just tell them directly, listen, I care about you. I know this is going to be beneficial to you, so I'm going to wait around. I'll be patient. I'm here for you. I'm going to continue following up. I'm going to continue giving you value. If I come up with some other ideas, I want to share them with you. You're going to continue to show up with value, continue to show up with information and say, listen, this is a long-term relationship. I'm not hitting and quitting it. I'm here for you now and in the long haul, so I'm willing to wait around. And then just relentlessly continue to provide value and show up with it. The thing about it is, people are in the heat of the moment. When the buying decision's about to happen, they're very high emotion. Their logical side of their brain is saying, this is not a good decision. I don't trust this. It activates the fight or flight mode. They take a step back. But once things calm down and they're off of that high, they're like, man, I should do that. I think that was a good decision. So relentlessly continue to follow up. And number 11, don't be attached to outcomes. I said this to someone a while back and they didn't appreciate it, but I think you just have to not care whether you get the deal or not. Just do not be attached to the outcomes. Become completely indifferent to everything. Say, this is what I got. I think it'll be beneficial to you. What do you think? And if they say no, say, okay. That's it. Okay. They're going to treat you and look at you a different way. When you're indifferent, when you're not attached to outcomes, when you're not desperate, when you're not like, I have to make this sale, so please give me this money, they're going to immediately, they stand back. It's like, no, I'm not interested. Whereas if you're casual about it and you're like, yeah, this is some information that we have. I want to share it with you. I think this will be beneficial. You answer their questions. You're like, what do you think of this? And if they're like, I'm not interested, the person that gets, I'm not interested and is desperate for a sale, it's like their whole world just collapsed. But if you're not attached to outcomes and they say they're not interested, you say, yeah, cool. You know what? I'm here for you no matter what. Think about it. Then you follow up a week later and say, hey, I was going through this stuff and I thought of you. They're going to be like, okay, well, this guy's not trying to get a sale out of me because he needs money. He's trying to get a sale out of me because he genuinely thinks that this would be a good fit for me. And that's it for my first episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. Like I mentioned, this is my stockpile of information. I have books and books full of notes, and I have a text thread with myself, and whenever I think of something, I'll pull my phone out and just record a video message. I have so much information I'm sitting on, and I want to share it with you because I know this information can help you, but more importantly, it's information that you can immediately use in your next marketing piece. So thanks for listening. I will catch you in the next episode, and if there's any other topics that you want me to cover, just let me know. But thanks for listening, and hope you have a great rest of your day.